What's good? It's your girl, Miss Aaliyah Renee, and we're here again with another episode. Happy Mother's Day. Today is Mother's Day, and you see these little balloon things. My son, they're in the back. My son got them for me. He wanted me to put them in the video. This is one of the gifts he gave me Friday. Um, so today we're going to be talking about grief, losing a child, and how to move on. And I wouldn't even say move on because there's no moving on when you lose a kid. So I know I've said it a million and one times. Here's a million and two. If you know me, I did lose my daughter, and this week made 12 years. And one thing about death, especially when you lose a child, time does not, it could be 12 years, but it really feels like it was yesterday. So you hear this song, they say time heals. And I look at it in the perspective of death or losing a child, death as far as losing a kid. And you learn how to cope. You learn how to get through things, but time doesn't heal. And I look at it as some wounds are so deep that the littlest touch or the littlest bump makes them run over again, and you're just overflowing. So today I'm gonna just go over some of the things as far as I feel comfortable talking, because again, it is this week where I had to go to my daughter's grave and give remembrance just on her headstone. So it's still, the emotions are still intense. And I only allow myself 2 years, and that works for me. I mean, not 2 years, 2 times a year to take in all the emotions. And that's on her birthday and her angel anniversary day. And that, again, works for me. So when you lose a child, which if any of you guys that are watching that's lost a child, I'm so sorry. That's the worst pain you can ever feel. And if you never experienced it, you wouldn't even know the half of it. On top of just to see kids getting murdered, getting killed by the cops, that right there, I know that's even probably 50 times even worse. But to lose a child is very, very difficult, because you expect to see your child graduate, get married, do things that most children grow up to do. And when you lose one, especially with mine, she was 2 years and 9 months when she passed away. And my whole life pretty much revolved around her because she had a disability. So when she passed away, I didn't know, I had lost who I was to cater to her needs. And I had to really rebuild myself to who am I now after a death. So I guess this message would be for those who are coping with losing a child, and those that are friends or loved ones to that person who's lost their child. It's hard. It's no time frame when you should get over it. It's not a set limit or how many days you may feel depressed. It's no manual for it, because everybody's emotions are different. And it's okay. I say, when I talk to others, the depression stage, don't let it go over a week. And I say that because once you get stuck in depression, it is so hard. So it's like some people don't want to get out of bed. After a week, you gotta get out of bed. You got to, because your loved one wouldn't want to just see you moping around, not eating, not taking care of yourself. They're not happy seeing that. So you have to look at it in that perspective. Like, would they want me to be like this? So after a week, you got to push yourself, and you find ways to cope with it. Go to counseling. I think my biggest thing, the first month, I was in denial. Like, I was sick. I slept all the time. My mom would come over, and I wouldn't even hear the alarm go off. I would be in a dead sleep, which was basically depression. That's how my depression worked. I slept. And I'm talking about a deep sleep. And I thought, well, maybe she was with the nurse, because she had nurses come in when she got a little bit older. Or maybe she was with my mom. She's somewhere. I never really took the realization that she was gone. she wasn't coming back. And when that finally hit me, it hit me hard. And it hit me hard. And that type of pain, like, you ever cried and you don't have any, no sound comes out of it? Like, it's just a deep hurt, like a deep hurt where it's in your chest, your stomach, and you just, it hurts. Like, it's no words that'll come, no sound to it. That's a real deep pain. So if you lost a child, you have to find a way to. I took my daughter, if I have Dora tattoos and I have a whole sleeve. I don't know if you guys can see. I got her name and all of this in my eyes. And I put Dora because she looked like Dora. She died on Cinco de Mayo. She died a day that it was so peaceful. I had just got signed a lease for our new place that was bigger for her and our nurse she had. And things was just perfect. It just seemed like it was just a great day. So I feel like God gave me that comfort. She died in my arms. And even though that was traumatizing and definitely caused post-traumatic stress disorder, but she could have died and I wasn't there. I had left her with my parents to go handle some business. She could have died then. And she died with me. So that gave me comfort, although it hurt. Believe me, I was a mess. Like, when I was in the ER with her, I'm telling them, did y'all do the chest compressions? I'm just saying all kind of stuff. Like, she's still warm. I know she's not there. She's still warm. It's a tube down her throat. It was terrible. And I fell out on the floor. And the crazy thing about it, when all of this was happening, we were in IHOP. And I called my mom. I called my dad. I called her dad. Nobody answered the phone. And so my mom, she knows when you don't answer the phone, it triggers, like, why are you not answering the phone? This could be an emergency. So it's little things that you wouldn't even know that a person that lost a child, it triggers. That day, even this year, I low-key felt alone. I had my best friend. She always calls and checks up on me. And a lot of people don't know what to say. And one thing I hate is everybody is around that first week, maybe that first month. But then everybody start to disappear. Those who was your support during that time, if you have it, they start to disappear. So if you're hearing this and you know someone that lost a child, they still need you. We still need you. It can be 15 years from now. We still need you. That still hurts. Like, I would never get to see my daughter go to the daddy-daughter dance. And I'm super girly. And she was way, like, diva-fied. This little girl has so much personality. She got me to the point, like, I was tomboyish. She brought the diva out, like the cute girly with the heels. I ain't wear heels. I wore Jordans. I wore J's. It was her. So it was hard. It was really, really hard. It was really, really hard. And it took days. I used to say, like, when it rained outside, those was my tears. I came up with all kind of things. But you have to figure out what works for you. But that staying in the bed, you can't do that. And I finally went to a counselor. I went to one off Billingsley Road. And the guy actually told me, it's been a month. You should be over it now. It took so much strength for me not to go off on this man, but best believe he knew I was 38 hot. So when I finally decided to go again, it was kindergarten. I put my son in kindergarten. He did the camps. He did it in school. And like I said in my previous video, it had me feeling real mushy and soft, but I felt safe that was a place where other people understood. It's mothers who lost their children. They gave me books. I started to read it. And I never questioned God because I feel like he knows everything. Like, he knows why things need to happen. He knows what you can and cannot bear. And maybe that was it. Maybe if I kept going on, because I got sick. Like, my daughter it took a lot. It took a lot to deal with her, but she was everything to me. She gave me so much life. She inspired me so much. She was such a fighter. And I always hold her legacy and talk about her. And even when I was going through that, people was like, oh, you just lost your daughter. Why are you talking about it? I don't know. I'm over here trying to see how many minutes. I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't want to run out of time. But they would just say all kind of stuff. Like, oh, you just lost your daughter. Why are you so happy? But they didn't know what I was feeling like inside. So I had to put that persona on just to get out the bed, just to be able to walk around people. I lost my daughter, then I lost my place, I lost my car. Like, it's everything was just happening after that situation. You know what I'm saying? So be there. If you're the person that's the friend, be there for them. And you might not know what to say. Sometimes it doesn't have words. Just give that person a hug. Ask them, you want something to eat? Are you okay? Have you ate? You need anything? Have you showered? Let's go take a walk. Let's talk about it. Let's find something good about this person and let's talk about them. What makes you happy? What memories do you have of this person? Let's do a collage. Let's do pins. If you look at any pictures that I take, on my door, I have her blanket. It's the door blanket. That everywhere in my home is something that represents my daughter. And that's what works for me. You have to figure out what works for you, but you cannot sit around and lay in a bed or not go out. After a week, you gotta make yourself. When I tell you I've been there, that's why it's the worst. That depression when you deep and sometimes you don't even know you depressed, and that's the worst part right there, when you can't even put the thought of actually what's going on, and you find out you're depressed, and then you're like, dang, that's a dark. It's nothing that could get me back, and that's why I fight so hard, and I only do the 2 days out the year, because I don't want to go back to that. And yeah, it's been 12 years. That 12 years feel like she was just here. I'll never get to see her graduate. My son is graduating this year. It's nothing after him. She was supposed to be the next one in 3 years. I never get to see her get married. I never get to show her how to put on makeup. Those little things that were so important to me, I'll never get that opportunity. So when you're the friend of someone or the family members, because my support system at the beginning was kind of jacked up. It was just, maybe a friend or two, but they didn't know how to really, no one experienced. We were young and lost a child. I was like the first person that went through that. They like, oh my God, you're so strong, but I was hurting. So I needed that support, and I thank God daily, because I didn't get a lot of stuff, but I got it. I got through it, and I best believe it was God. Best believe it, because I felt alone several times. Nobody knew. I heard someone told me that I was using her as a clutch. Like, how dare you even say that? And it hadn't even been a year at that time. But until you lose a child, you can't tell nobody how they feel. Who gave you the audacity, first off? Who gave you the right to make your opinion on what it feels like if you never lost a child? That's a pain you would never. It's not compared to losing anybody else. This is your child. This is somebody you birthed. And you didn't get to see them excel. You didn't get to see them grow. The little version of you. That's real. And one thing, you'll never be the same, but you have to find ways to cope. And it's only and it'll be some ups and downs, some stuff you got to play around with just to figure it out. But my whole thing is, don't give up, because your child don't want you sitting here moping around forever. They don't want you just to be sad and depressed and not eating and going through. They don't want you like that. You have to live in their spirit. You have to carry them daily. So again, if you're a person that lost their child, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. But understand, I'm not even going to tell you it's going to get better. You'll learn how to cope. And each year for me, 1 year may be a good year. I don't work. I don't be around any type of negative people during those 2 days, the birthday and the anniversary of her death, because that's a special moment for me. You have to figure out what works for you. DM me, message me, however, if you need some help, check out Kendamore and get some counseling, definitely. And if you're a family member or if you're a friend, be there. And sometimes being there again doesn't have words. It's just you're present. You're there. Mother's Day, if they lost a child and that was their only child, still say Happy Mother's Day and still get them something for that child, from that child. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and then talk to them. Talk to that person. Ask them, what can I do for you? What do you need from me? And then make sure you stay with it. Don't just fall off the wagon. Because that pain don't go away. You learn how to cope. You learn how to deal with it. It might not hurt as much, but ain't no telling the next year that it may go back to like feeling the first day it happened. I remember the first time, and I'm not trying to go too much in depth because that's a situation that does. I ain't about to be crying on this mug with y'all. I ain't doing all that. But I remember that first night when it happened, we went back to my home that we had got for her and my best friend and the guy I was talking to. They all laid there. One was right here. I was on the floor. I was here. They held me the whole night. I had the worst headache. The worst headache that no medicine would fix, from crying. It's like a nightmare you can't wake up from. So again, yo, you need to reach out to me via DM, whatever, and talk. I'm here to listen, because it's the whole point. I bring awareness, man. I'm here to inspire. I'm here to motivate. Yeah, I may talk about some little risque stuff sometimes just to kind of get you kind of, I ain't a boring person. But just understand, all of this passion, all of this inspiration comes from the fact that I've been through some stuff. I've been through some stuff that a lot of people couldn't handle. And it's a reason why I'm here. It's a reason why I have this voice. I'm not about to sit here and sit on it. If you need me and I can share something with you, I can tell you some inspiring words to get you up, I'm here. So again, I'm sorry that you lost your child. You'll find a way to get through it. You will. Thank y'all.